We're fortunate to have a planner in residence and an engineer in residence who bring industry perspectives to curricular activities, and we're committed to building more bridges between our two departments and faculties. In the School of Planning, the planner in residence is a long-standing program. In engineering, the program is more recent and is already making very positive waves.
There's no plan so good that it can't be messed up by bad implementation. Really good implementation can't salvage a bad plan. When we were contemplating this webinar, we landed on this concept of from silos to synergy, because we all recognize that our professional disciplines historically have worked in a little bit of silos. More recently, there's a broad acknowledgement that we need to break down those silos and we need to strive for the synergies. So I'm going to get into a couple examples, and I'm going to contrast Calgary's experience with LRT and Waterloo Region's experience with LRT. Our two communities came at it differently. Calgary LRT, it really did evolve in silos. Planning and engineering not necessarily fully connected. So really what Calgary created was a very successful engineering solution. Significant share of downtown commuters are captured by the LRT. But in terms of influencing patterns of residential development, there's almost no change in population density in the downtown core. So there's, I think, an example of silos. In contrast, Waterloo Region's LRT project from the very, very beginning had two equal and parallel goals: move people, so the transportation engineering goal, and shaping the community, the land use planning goal. Engineering and planning had to work hand in hand if those goals were going to be achieved. So then the question is, what's the early indicators of, are we achieving these dual parallel goals? I think we're being intensely successful at encouraging intensification on the shaping the community side, and on the moving people side, significant increase in boarding system-wide, and a really significant increase in transit usage in our central transit corridor.
The cross-disciplinary education opportunities we see as being extremely important. The issue of bringing thought leaders, more integration of class projects, sharing back and forth with each other, just really opening up lines of communication, finding ways to get to know each other. If we look at the engineering faculty and you look at the School of Planning, there's a great deal of overlap that's happening already. I don't see why we shouldn't be creating a lot more reciprocal education and job experience between the two professions as well.
I taught a first course in transit engineering to 12 students in civil engineering, and I taught an infrastructure planning course in planning to 17 students, all from the home discipline. And over the years, the obvious desire for these two fields to intersect became clear when students started discovering these courses from the other disciplines. And the last two times these courses have been offered, there were 85 or so students with an even mix between civil engineering and the School of Planning. And so the outcome has really been a strong desire for students to be in the same place, learning each other's vocabulary.
We can't let each other dismiss or limit vision. We're all thinking globally today about very different societal lenses, and they can be climate change, they can be diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I think that is what is going to unite us. For the issues that we're facing globally, locally, we need high quality solutions, we need solutions that can be nimbly implemented, and we need to be able to scale up. It's just all the more compelling reason for us to look at creating those synergies.
If engineers and planners work in the same space, then how did we become siloed? The results tell a story of how much more we can do when we build in this collaboration in academia and the workplace.
We're very fortunate to have such strong and dedicated leadership on both sides of this collaboration.
It's really incredibly rewarding for me to see all this come together today, and I'm so thrilled to be part of this conversation.
I think we're on the right path. University of Waterloo is on the right path, but I think there's still lots more to be done on that journey.
Planning and engineering will address the challenges of the day, and I think it's important for us right now to not only act, but to reflect on where we're going and why. But it has to start with an ability to listen, and that is an easy thing to say and a hard thing to do.
We're very fortunate at the University of Waterloo to have both an engineer in residence and a planner in residence, and together they represent industry, academic engagement, and education. From the perspective of our cities, collaboration is key to building the cities that we want and the future that we aspire to have.